Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Okay, so I have that. Good evening, Lawrence. Good evening, ET. Good evening to all of you. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. Okay, so I have that. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the greatest watch market update show in the world. As you know, what these Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market dealers won't dare to tell you, we will. And we will tell you the truth. Nothing but the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a nice watch market update show. And before I get into it, let me just let you guys know that if you guys want to cooperate with this channel's, growing, give us a good thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to the channel if you like. You can also leave a comment, whatever you want to do. But if you want to help us out, you can do those three things. Subscribe to the channel, give us a big thumbs up, or give a comment. Because what we're gonna tell you here is nothing but the truth, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you all know that the price of the ounce of gold as of today is $3,317.50. All right. So, if you're looking into gold, that is the price of gold right now, today, today. So, look into it if you want. I'm not telling you guys to buy gold or, none of that good stuff. I'm just telling you that I'm a big fan of gold, and that's where basically all my money is at in gold. Anyway, guys, I want to talk to you about a subject that none of your Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market channels and dealers will dare to talk to you about. But I will, as you know why. You know why I'm going to do it. I don't like to leave you guys hanging, like monkeys. I don't like that. I like to tell you what's happening. As you know, I told you that in 2025, Rolex to me had the best release ever. How's that? I'm going now with ever. You 7 people that are looking at this live stream are lucky because you're going to hear this. To me, the 2025 Rolex release was the best ever, ever. And but that's just my personal opinion. Maybe you guys have other opinions, and that's fine. Maybe you guys have been, MK Ultra, mesmerized by your favorite Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade channels, but not here. We're gonna talk the truth. As you know, we have seen in the wild already from those 2025 releases of Rolex. We have seen the Oyster Flex yellow gold with the blue turquoise blue dial. We have seen the yellow gold with the green dial champagne gauges. We've seen that. We've seen the GMT white gold with the green dial and the black and green ceramic bezel and the Oyster Perpetual. You know what I'm saying, right? And you also know that I told you that I was a big fan since the very, very early 80s of the oyster quartz. You know, the oyster quartz Datejust, you know, that it came in with quartz movement, you know, back in, 1980, 81, 82, until it was discontinued for whatever reasons. But as you know, that watch has been re-released, you know, and they're calling it today the Rolex Land Dweller. And the reason I'm talking about this watch is special, you know. In the 1970s, you know, we had a designer that I call him the Pablo Picasso of designing watches. Some of you know who he is, some of you don't know who he is, but to me, the best designer in watches. I compare him to Pablo Picasso. Everybody else is an artist today is a Picassino. Picassino means is they have copied Pablo Picasso's the way he does his abstracts and all that good stuff. So we call them Picassinos. You know, Picasso, Picassinos. And the same thing happened with this gentleman that I call, an unbelievable watch designer. His name is Gerald Genta. He was born May 1st, 1931, and he passed away on August the 17th of 2011. Unbelievable. You know, this man worked with the best watch houses out there, you know. He worked with Seiko. You might be surprised, but he worked with Seiko. You might be surprised he worked with Hamilton, you know. He worked with Cartier. He worked with Bugatti. You understand me? He worked with Omega. This man was a master, and everywhere he went, he did something special, you know? Everywhere he went, you know? He's unbelievable. This gentleman also worked with Universal Geneve, you know, Universal Geneve. He worked with Patek Philippe. He worked with Audemars Piguet, and he worked with his own brand, Gerald Genta. You know, unbelievable, this man. And this man did some designs for some of these luxury watch brands that were unbelievable. He did one for Audemars Piguet, the Royal Oak, you know, the octagonal design, octagon, whatever you want to call it, right? He did that for them in 1972, and then he did in 76, he did the Nautilus, you know, the octagonal shape. And then he also did it for IWC, the engineer, you know, the yacht, whatever, they call it something, the yacht club. He did it with the octagonal too. So you might be thinking, why are you talking about this? Well, you know, be a little patient, and I'm going to get why I'm talking about this. And so everybody, you know, made a lot of money with that design, you know, with the octagonal. Everybody did it, you know. There was somebody, they copy him, or they copy Patek, or they copy AP, or they copy IWC, but they wanted that octagonal, casing. So in 1977, your favorite brand, and probably my favorite brand, the king of all watches, you know, they came out with, you know, some kind of a octagonal shape watch. It was the oyster quartz, you know, beautiful watch. I have that watch. My son has that watch. He has it in two-tone, in yellow gold with stainless steel with a blue dial. Unbelievable, you know, beautiful watch. But there was something happening in the 70s. You know, we had the quartz crisis. You know, the quartz crisis from 1977. You know, the Japanese were kicking rear end. You know, they were kicking ass with quartz watches. You know, and all the luxury, you know, watch manufacturers were going crazy. You know, they're saying, "Oh my God, you know, this quartz thing is blowing up," and the Japanese are just kicking ass with this watch, with this movement. You know, and everybody was, you know, wanted to get a piece of the action because quartz became something big. They call it in 1977 the quartz crisis. You know, So Rolex got involved in the situation and they did a beautiful watch, which is the Rolex Datejust Oyster Quartz. But they did it in with a quartz movement, you know? Unbelievable. They did it with a quartz movement. But Rolex basically was also, copying that octagonal shape, from AP, from Patek, from IWC, and from the rest. One thing that I have heard many, many times from different historians that I talk to, collectors, they say that Rolex made a mistake and they regret that they never worked with the likes of a Gerald Genta. You know, they say that. That's what they say. But Rolex being the king of watches, they said we don't need to work with nobody. We do our own thing, and they did. They did that oyster quartz, but it was a flop because of that. They wanted to follow the trend that the Japanese had with quartz watches, and the watch became a dud. It just died out. But in reality, Rolex was trying to make a crossover with a new casing, a new bracelet to be in the likes of AP and Patek, right? No problem. So the watch, they stopped. And ladies and gentlemen, today, like I told you, 2025 was the best Rolex release ever. These Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market channels and dealers, they're going to talk to you about the Daytonas, Oyster Flex, and the gold one with the green dial, and the GMT, and the Oyster Perpetual. But they've been pouncing you in the head and telling you that the Rolex Land Dweller is ugly. It looks cheap. The movement looks like a Swatch watch or a blank pane, blank pane Swatch watch, terrible, terrible things they're saying about the watch. Me, I love the watch. I said it since day one, and I'm going to continue telling you that I like that watch. But the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market dealers won't tell you that. This watch is being produced in a 36 and in a 40. Is being produced in stainless steel with a casing and the bracelet, and the bezel is on white gold on the stainless steel. And then they have it in rose gold and in platinum, in 36 millimeter and in 40. To me, the watch is unbelievable. But there's a trick here. The reason that these people keep on telling you, these Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market channels and dealers keep on telling you the watch is ugly, that the watch is too expensive, that the watch is this, that. That's fine. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. What I want to tell you is that watch, I've talked to a few different Rolex authorized dealers. Rolex authorized dealers. Friends of mine. I've also talked to a couple of dealers that have the Patek Philippe line. And we have talked about this situation with the Rolex Land Dweller. Rolex is making a crossover at this moment. As you know, we've had for many, many years the Datejust model, the Oyster Perpetual model, the Submariner, the GMT, the Sky Dweller, the Date. And to be honest, it's the same model. Basically, you look at all the Rolex watches, and it's the same old thing. It's the same. It looks like the same Datejust, Date, GMT, Submariner. And Rolex, they had it right at one moment in 1977 with that Oyster Quartz, style, clean, straight lines, This time, they don't even want to call it octagonal. They want to call it a barrel shape. But you might be wondering, why are you talking about this? Well, I'm talking about this because this is probably going to be the hardest watch to allocate. The hardest watch. You heard that right. Let me drink some jungle juice because you guys are skip hopping around through life. I have 34 organic watch channel subscribers and 8 thumbs up. Okay. I'm alone here today. I don't have Kino to threaten me and boss me around. 8 thumbs up. 34 watching me. It went down to 7 now. So you might be wondering, you might be wondering. So what's going on? So all these Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market dealers, they know this already. They know this is going to be the hardest watch to allocate. I have seen this watch. I have seen this, the Land Dweller. You're not going to believe this, where I have seen the Land Dweller. I seen the Land Dweller from replicas, from clones, one-on-one. But I can promise you that I have not still seen one in the wild, or a picture. Or a picture, a picture of somebody selling it. This is gonna be the hardest watch for you to get, for you to allocate. You have to be somebody mammoth. You gotta be somebody big, because Rolex, the king of watches, wants to be in the same level, wants to play in the same playground as Patek Philippe. A double well, absolutely, a double well. Don't let these flim-flammers, fleece you into thinking that the watch is ugly, that the casing is bad, that the bracelet looks cheap like a Seiko, that the back, the clear back is this, the movement, the wishy-washy stuff. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. This is the reason I'm doing this live stream, because somebody had to tell you, because all of you were getting this. You were all getting this. You were all in line getting this. Like what the government does, they distract you with something else while they do this to you. They distract you and then they do this to you, and you never notice. Whenever they pass a law, they pass it on a Sunday, they pass it Thanksgiving Day or the day after or the same day, so they catch you. This is like the government. This is like the government, but you got me. You got me. You got me because I'm stupid like that. That's right. 34, 11 thumbs up. So this watch is going to be the hardest. And I'm going to tell you why. Because again, they want those clients that AP, let's be honest, guys. The clientele, let's be honest. The clientele that AP and Patek have, Papi, they are like somebody just said right now, double wells, triple wells, colossal mammoths, people that don't give a frog what they're spending. They don't want a guy walking in with a pair of ripped jeans, Supreme sweater, a hoodie on. They don't. Believe me, they don't. They don't. They want to hear about last names. Last names. J.P. Morgan. You understand me? Rothschilds. That type of stuff. Try to, sometimes you can't, sometimes you just can't teach stupid, Honestly, with all due respect, I was taught in a very young age that sometimes you just can't teach stupid, I'm not calling you that. I'm saying that you can't teach stupid, Okay, I'll tell you another day a little bit about teach stupid. So what's going on is they want that type of clientele that I'm talking about, and they really want it. They really, really want it. They don't want me. They don't want me. They don't want you. Papi, they don't want us. I'm sorry to tell you that, but they don't want us. I'm just telling you what it is. You know what I'm trying to say, Mr. Blair. You know what I'm trying to say. These people are still skip-hopping around through life like bunny rabbits from the Playboy Mansion, and I'm telling you something that's, what it is. Rolex is going in a different direction with these watches. And I'm telling you this because you guys might get a phone call for one of those watches from one of those Rolex land dwellers, whether it's platinum, whether it's rose gold, whether it's stainless steel with the bezel in white 18 karat gold. You might get that phone call. And since you've been watching too many, you know, Deputy Boxing Black Eyes, you know, channel, you've been watching too much The War is Fat Bastard, you know, you've been watching the two toddler body brothers, you know, you've been watching the Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo, you understand me? Big Pun and Heavy D, the two Jehovah Witness brothers, and they're telling you the watch is ugly, they made a big mistake. It's gonna be the #1 watch to get, so hard to get, because what they want is, they want that, you know, they want that, that person that has a big last name but you never see. It's like a ghost, you know? You never see them, you know? They want that type of clientele, ladies and gentlemen. They want that clientele, and these people are starting to grease up big, you know, grease up big and grease up big, because those watches, you know, the stainless steel one, I believe is something like, I don't know, $17,000. But then when you go to the platinum and the rose gold, it jumps up, you know, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. But those are the watches that they really want, because that's where there's a lot of meat. There's a lot of meat left on the bone. So if you guys get a phone call for that watch, you know, think about it real well, because you could hit a grand slam. Not a home run, a grand slam. You know, the best one to get is that stainless steel one, you know, all fully stainless steel with the case and the bracelet, and the only thing that's white gold is the bezel, you know, that you know, the bezel, an 18 karat gold. And the other ones are pricey, but if you get any of those watches, I'm not gonna tell you to get it, because I don't know how deep your pockets are, you know, I don't know that. But I am telling you, that is the watch that every single Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market channel and dealer wants. They want the one that they've been telling you the opposite. It's ugly, it's bad, the movement, está feo, the dial is horrible, the dial is horrible, this horrible. Unbelievable, but true, you know? It's good stuff. But you guys lucked out that you have me, that I'm telling you, I'm giving you the warning. I'm giving you the warning before you stepped up to the plate and get this. Deep, deep, deep. I'm giving it to you, ladies and gentlemen. If you get a phone call for that watch and you can't get it, you tell your friend, you tell your cousin, your uncle, your grandmother, you know, you talk to your, you know, try to, somebody get the watch. That watch, the only place that I have seen it, I am going to say it again to the ones that are here now again. I have only seen the Rolex Land Dweller, and the material stainless steel. Unbelievable. Unbelievable one-on-one. One-on-one. I seen it in the clone, you know, those people that sell those watches, clone, the one-on-one. You know what I'm trying to say. Over there, from that country, for Xinjiang. They have it. Not even these Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market channels and dealers have been able to get it. If you see one, please let me know. I want to see it. I want to see it. Yeah, I want to see it. You know, I want to see it. Okay, some people are saying they see it in chrono. Fine, you see it in chrono. Listen, it has to be an actual picture, because in chrono they put whatever they want, they put up there. Whatever they want. They put up there that they have it. This watch, the way they are going to be repartiendo el bizcocho, the way they're going to be, you know, cutting the cake. And I'm telling you, I know Rolex AD dealers. and they have received some kind of a notification. I don't know what it is. They don't tell me exactly because they're not going to tell me everything. They're going to tell me in a subliminal way. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm going to tell you is they're going to give those watches out 3, 4, 5 pieces to each dealer, 2 pieces, 1 piece, 2 pieces, 1 piece, and that's it. That's it. They want to be exclusive, exactly like AP and Paddock. You know, they don't want none of these monkeys, ninguno de estos mamones lambones. You know what lambón is? They don't want lambones there no more, papa. But you might get lucky and you might get that call, you know? And don't deny it. Don't deny it, because that Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market channel dealer is greasing up big time. Big time. Greasing up big time. And if you don't believe me, there's also a gentleman which I call the fake Italian flat top monkey eyebrows. You know, he was one of them. They were saying, I don't know about this watch, blah, blah. But he got the news and he felt it. He knows already that's the watch. It's not the green, that yellow green Daytona with the Oyster Flex, you know, I don't know, Tiffany Blue Dial. Is those watches. Those are the big boy watches, papa. Those are the big boy watches. And they had you sleeping. Lo tenían dormido en la paja. Así dormido en la paja, lo tenían dormido with that watch. I have people tell me, man, that watch is ugly. And I look at them, but what makes it ugly? Tell me. No, I don't know. It just looks cheap. It looks cheap. Remember, this is like the TV. If you watch too much TV, you become dumb. They dumb down on you. And it's the same thing with these people. They're going to dumb down on you. Tell them the watch is ugly. Tell them the watch is ugly. Tell them the dial is ugly. Tell them that the movement is ugly. Tell them the bracelet is ugly. To me, that's where Rolex wants to go. Rolex wants to give up on this kind of style. You know, they want to give up on this already. You know, it's been around forever. You know, Rolex never, you know, stepped out of the box to do something different. And they did 50 years ago with that watch. They did. But they followed the Japanese with the quartz movement, and that's where they got the logo. But if they would have continued with that watch 50 years ago, that watch today would have been like the same thing as an AP, as a Paddock. You might think not, and that's fine. I don't need you to agree with me. I'm giving you the news of what's happening with that watch. All these Muppet Boiler Room, they're in line. They're in line waiting for it, whether it's rose gold, whether it's a 36, whether it's a 40, and platinum. They want that watch because there's people ready to give away 200, 300 for that watch. I'm telling you, they're not going to tell you it's limited edition, but it's limited production. That's right. Look at that. Somebody says that the only TV that they watch is Opus and Time watches. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to tell something to you people. I want to tell you something else. You know, when you subscribe to this channel, there is a rule. There is a rule, not a suggestion, a rule that you need to watch the movie. I repeat, that you need to watch the movie because there's rules in this channel, not suggestions, rules. You need to watch the movie Network. Network. You understand me? With Faye Dunaway. You need to watch that movie if you are a subscriber to this channel. You do whatever you want. If you continue skip hopping around through life, you're in trouble. And we're not just talking about skip hopping around through life with watches. I mean in general, papi. I mean in general. Ustedes son unos lambones. Ustedes son un bochorno. You guys have become an embarrassment. You know, an embarrassment that you don't know what's happening in the world. That you have to come and see me so I can tell you who BlackRock is. So I can tell you who JP Morgan is. So I can tell you who the Bilderbergers is. It's a big business. It's a corporation. Y ustedes son lambones. 43 organic subscribers, 18 thumbs up. That's the way you guys help us out. That's the way. I'm not asking you for a thank you chat. If you guys can't even give me a thumbs up, what makes me think that you're going to give me a thank you chat? That's what I tell Sweet Kid Kino. He doesn't believe me, Kino. Son unos lambones. Si para darme un thumbs up le cuesta trabajo. For them to give me a thumbs up is a hard job for them. You understand me? You know, the owners of the world, papi, have you heard still anybody say in TV? I promise you, have you heard anybody in TV say anything negative about Rolex? You never will, papi. You never will. That's a big group. That's a big club. And you and me are not in it. Me and you are not in it. So you need people like me to at least awaken you guys up. You understand me? Because you guys are skip hopping around through life. Well, I gotta tell you what's happening. Papi, this is a big club. And you're never gonna be in it, and neither am I. We're never gonna be in it. We're never gonna be in it. They have it all controlled. Rolex can do whatever they want. Rolex can do whatever they want. Even me telling you ching-jing, 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 you're still gonna go and buy your watch. Even after you hear that. You know, it's like when your wife, you know, you find out that your wife is cheating on you with your best friend and you're still with her. It's like, that's how it is. Porque ustedes son unos lambones. Ustedes son unos lambones, unos gilipollas. La mujer se la pega y siguen con ellos. Mira, para adentro. Duro. Y bien duro para adentro, papá. Bien duro. That's what it is. Papi, this is the #1 watch channel in the world. We've been chosen by no other than Fudinki as the best channel there is. We are a public service watch announcement channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we have rules in this channel. We have rules, not suggestions, but rules. And I'm telling you something big, so you guys, when you hear that subliminal message, that MK Ultra, you know what I'm saying? You understand me? You know what to do with that watch. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, there is one owner that owns all the networks. One owner. ABC, CBS, and NBC. NBC, CBS, and ABC. ABC. One owner that owns all those channels. That's it, one owner. And he tells them what you can put on there and what you cannot put on there. You guys don't want to hear that. You guys don't want to hear that because you guys want to continue to skip hopping around. There's one owner that owns all the newspapers in the world. There's one owner that owns all the radio stations. You don't know about that, papi. Ustedes son lambones. Ustedes no piensan en los relojes, en watch. Boom, 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 boom. Watch, boom, boom, boom. No sean locas, son unas cabras enfermas. Son unas cabras enfermas. You need people like me. You need people like me. When you see the movie Network, you're going to go, oh my God, where have I been? You've been lost. You've been lost. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot teach stupid. You cannot teach stupid. Have you ever heard that? You cannot teach stupid? That's who you guys are. You become stupid. You become momos. You became momos. I'm not going to tell you what momo is. If you don't know what a momo is, you Google it. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to call you. I'm going to get called to the bathroom. They're going to take me to the bathroom. When you don't see me no more, they took me to the bathroom. Because what I'm dropping here is knowledge. What those people drop on you people, Dios mío, it's so much fantasy that it's funny. What they drop on you guys. And you guys get happy when you say, I just bought, I just bought a sweepstake from the two toddler body brothers, the raffle to win an Aquanut, Patek Philippe. I say, Dios mío. And then you got the other one, the worst fat bastard over there, the worst fat bastard, and you're maintaining everything that he has, His kid is going to private school while your kid is going to summer camp. That's unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable, but it is the truth, ladies and gentlemen, It is the truth, and nobody's going to tell you this the way I'm telling you. And I'm telling you this because soy un lambón. Yo soy un lambón. Papi, yo soy un lambón. Those watches, those Rolex land dwellers, man, they're gonna be so hard to get because Rolex say, hey man, we don't want these people no more. We don't want I'm telling you, we don't want these people no more. They have told me in my face one that they want to change. They want to be selective with the customers they have in their boutiques. They want to see. They don't want to. They want to stop. They want to stop the flipping. You understand me? And the way they're going to stop the flipping is jacking up all those prices even higher. That's why for the last 3 years you've been seeing the prices of Rolex. They jack them up 3 times in a year, even 4 times in a year, 3, 5, 6, 14%. And you guys have continued buying, and you guys continue buying. So they say, you know what they're saying now? You know what they're saying? Let's sell them a Rolex date yellow gold with a champagne dial for $80,000. And you guys will buy it for $80,000. This is how they got you, papi. El mejor marketeo, the best marketing there is, I'm telling you, is the king of watches. The best. The best. No matter what they tell you, you keep on. They make us slaves. They make us slaves. And they can do it because they're running with that club. They're running with that club. They're running with the club that me and you are never going to be in. You understand me? So, again, one more time, if you get that phone call for that land dweller, you better hope it's a stainless steel one. That way it's easy. That's the one I want. I want the stainless steel one. But I get it's unbelievable. But they tell me, hey, Juan, to get this watch, they're giving us already, they told us 2 pieces, and that's it. Which one do you want? Here, send them that. And not what you want. Here's a rose gold. Here's a platinum. Here's a stainless steel for you. Papi, it's what it is. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what it is. I want to thank you very much, Dennis, for that super chat. Thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you very much. You guys got to be smart. So if you get the opportunity to get your hands on that watch, don't listen to these momos. Don't listen to these momos. You get it. Instead of them making $40,000, $50,000, you make it. I don't want to tell you. Somebody said that they saw the Rolex land dweller in some platform there. How much does it cost? Tell me, how much does it cost? How much do they have it for? Tell me how much they have it for. You saw it. The gentleman that said that he saw it on that platform. Put there how much you saw it for. That watch is going to be hard to get. And the watch that is going to blow up is that platinum with the ugly blue dial. No, I love it. But they tell you guys that is ugly. 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 They want that watch so bad. They wish they can taste it if they get that watch. They know they hit a grand slam. The rest, papi, the rest, ya está, ya it's true, yeah, it's true, papi. It's true. I try to keep it simple for you guys so you could understand. I have a loyal subscriber in this channel. I'm not even going to use his name. He's a good friend of mine, the channel. And he tells me always, Juan, You got to keep it simple for these people. He tells me that. Can you believe that? He tells me, Juan, you got to keep it simple for them. When you drop these, these names like, Bilderbergers, BlackRock, J.P. Morgan, Rockefellers, Vanderbilt, they don't know. They don't know. It's too much for them. It's too much for them, and this is the reason you haven't heard one single word about what's happening over there in Xinjiang with the Rolex watches. Nothing. They don't even care. They don't even care. Probably Larry Fink, there you go. These people know too much. They know too much. You guys know too much, but you got to help them out. Listen to me, Mr. Blair. Listen to me, Mr. Damon. You need to help out our organic watch channel army. You got to help them out. You got to spread the news that they need to watch the movie The Network. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, this movie was released in 1976. And they're talking about everything that's happening today. That is happening today. Isn't that freaky? Maybe to you guys it's not freaky, but everything that's happening today, they're talking about it, I don't know, 50 years ago. 50 years ago, half a century. And you guys still don't have someone in your family that tells you, hey kid, go watch the movie Network so you can see what's happening in the world. You got to come east, I can tell you to go watch it. It's sad. It's really sad. It's very, very untasteful, It's incredible. It's like my friend told me, Antonini de Aguano. I have a friend of mine, Antonini de Aguano. If I'm 62, Antonini today is supposed to be like in his, I would say, high 80s, 86 years old. And he would tell me always, when I was a younger man, he would tell me, because he's Italian, his name is Antonini de Aguano, Antonini. And he would tell me always, my name is Juan, so he would call me Gianni. Gianni, you can't teach stupid. He would tell me this always, and I would look at him as a young kid. This is when I got involved in the marble business. I sell marble, natural flooring marble from Italy, Spain, etc., right? And he would tell me, Johnny, you cannot teach stupid. And I would always look at him. I would look at him always like, man, what is this man telling me you can't teach stupid, And in life, after a couple of years, I understood what he was saying. No matter how hard I try to explain to you people something, some of you just won't get it. I'm not going to tell you, you just can't teach stupid. I'm just going to tell you it's hard. I have people still here questioning this, questioning that. Okay, it's what it is, It's what it is. But I try my best to open your eyes. Thank you very much, Damon, for that super chat. Thank you very much. And some of you just, skip along and, like Hop Along Cassidy. You ever seen the movie Hop Along Cassidy? Like that. And I'm trying to tell you guys, Antonini de Aguano, they introduced me to the stone business. He would tell me that. He would tell me, Johnny, you just can't teach stupid. You can't teach stupid. You can't teach stupid. And I would just go listen to him. I didn't know what he was telling me. But as time went on in life, I said, oh my God, you just can't teach stupid. No matter how much I show you the proof, somebody help me out, please. Somebody help me out. Yeah, I can't teach you guys. Because you guys have been already mesmerized by these hoodwinks, hucksters, flim-flammers, cockroaches, insecto, infections in the corner of your skin of your nail. It's unbelievable. I don't know what to say no more because it's sad. It's sad to see that people still question. Listen, don't question me no more, man. Look into it. Do a little research. You know the word I use you guys to make you laugh? Google it. Google it, man. Google it, paisan. No sean huevones. No sean lambones. It's all there, man. I'm telling you, if you are a subscriber to this channel, it's a rule. There's a rule in this channel. If you are a subscriber, you need to watch the movie Network. You need to watch it tonight. All alone. You go to your basement, you lock yourself, and you watch it. And you're going to see the world. You're going to come out and go, oh my God. 50 years ago, these people were telling us what's going to happen in 2025. Hey, Damon, am I lying? Hey, oh, Damon, come on. Tell me if I'm lying to these people. Poquito de agua, coño. Poquito de agua. And these people are talking to you about this movement, about this model. These people want to give you this all day long. They don't care. They want to take away your children's tuition money no matter how. While I'm sitting here, busting my rear end, giving you this information. The reason the sweet Kid Kino did this channel was because he saw so many people heartbroken. Do you know how many people lost everything in that Corona era buying watches from these cockroaches? They lost everything, man. You can be one of those people too. But you're lucky. You got me, Papi. I'm dropping knowledge all day, every day. I'm telling you what it is, I'm telling you what it is. Don't let these people get in front of you. These people just need a little space so they can step on you. They know that. They see you as crumb bums. And this is why I have this channel. I said it wrong. Kino has this channel, because he doesn't want to see you people, become spoof balls, spoof balls and hoodwinkers and lollipop suckers and crumb bums and possum kickers, cow tippers. Come on, wake up, man. Wake up. Wake up. Don't go over there and give them $2.50 for a raffle. You're never going to win that, Papi. That's a sketch. It's an illusion. Poof. Like the dragon. Poof. That's what it is. And you guys are there, praying, I wish I would. Papi, you need to do it on your own and that's it, Papi. These people, es un espectáculo, papá. These people are grifters, man. These people are grifters. You need to understand that, a bunch of cow tippers and possum kickers. You know what a possum kicker is? Do you guys know what a cow tipper is? Does anybody know? Because I've been saying cow tippers, possum kickers here, right? And I don't know. Does anybody know what that means? No, okay. Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows what a possum kicker is. You go over there to the Carolinas, over there, and those kids over there don't have nothing to do and they're watching MTV. With all due respect, I'm saying that, with all due respect, and you live, and I'm going to say North Carolina because that's where my sister lived at, in North Carolina. And my nephews will tell me, I said, what are you going to do today, boys? Now we're going to go cow tipping. We're going to go cow tipping. The cow, it falls asleep standing up. These kids are unbelievable, these kids. They're standing up, the cow is standing up, and they go and they push her, and the cow falls. And that's why they call it cow tipping. You understand me? That's why they call it cow tipping. You got that or no? Manishma to all of you. Hello to all of you. Saludos. All that good stuff, All that good stuff to you people because you guys, they're going to get you. They're going to get you, and I know they're going to get you. Don't let them. If you get that phone call, has anybody got a phone call from one of your authorized Rolex dealers for a land dweller, a Rolex land dweller? Can anybody just tell me yes, no, or show me a logo? Show me. Anybody got one of those? Nobody got a phone call still? It's hard, man. You saw that? I didn't say that. Franco Fiore said that. Franco Fiore, a loyal subscriber, said that. He said no. I don't want to tell you the word he used. I'm telling you, papi, what they were telling you people, and I was como, yo estaba como un loco, like a crazy guy. Man, the best release is the land dweller, the land dweller, the land dweller. Man, that's ugly. You're crazy. It's ugly. What you hear from? I heard it from the Warriors fat bastard. What you hear that? I heard it from Jiminy Cricket, the Chia Pet spray can hair. I heard it from what you heard of from the big putted heavy D. That's right, because they want it, Papi. They don't want you to look that way. They don't want you. And then they tell you, it's ugly. The land dweller is ugly. The land dweller is ugly. You stop believing it's ugly. If somebody tells you that your beautiful wife is ugly, and they keep on telling you it's ugly, that beautiful wife of yours will turn ugly. Está aquí, papi, en la mente, en la chola. No sean gilipollas. No sean gilipollas. No sean gilipollas. You see, I come to give you all this information. One, I blow steam here. I blow steam in what I do in my real life as a profession. But at the same time, I'm trying to help you guys to wake up. You know it. You know it, Mr. Blair. Love your wife, a happy life. It's what it is. Pero estos lambones, porque ustedes son lambones. Ustedes son tan lambones que da asco. It's sad. It really is, because I said, I need to tell these people about the Rolex land dweller, because these people are going to get them. And Rolex right now doesn't even want to call that watch the octagonal, because let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. Where truth is truth. Everybody wants that octagonal Patek Philippe. Everybody wants that octagonal, AP Royal Oak. Be honest to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. No sean pendejos. No sean mamones. No sean lambones. You want that. You want that watch. You see the Vacheron Constantin overseas? It also has that octagonal shape. Everybody wants that. And they figured it out. And since they're the king of watches, they can do whatever they want. Nobody's going to say that Rolex is copying Patek or copying AP or copying Vacheron Constantin. You know why? Because they're the king of watches. And the king of watches can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. Papi, they run. Rolex runs in a big club. In a big club. They're the biggest. They're the biggest. They run with JP Morgan. They run with the Bilderbergers. They run with BlackRock. They run with the Rothschilds. They run with the Rockefellers. And you know who me and you run with? Ay, Señor mío, qué difícil esta gente, muchachos. Qué difícil es. I'm telling you, listen to me. This has been the worst news. This has been an attack on Rolex. And guys, I'm truthful. Nothing is happening to them. Nothing. You see me blowing all this steam, talking about Chin Jean, doing this, the roller, the bezel, the dial, the screw, the spring. Nothing is going to happen to them. Because the masses, you know what masses is? The masses are obedient. They're obedient. So until they hear it from their tube TV, then they'll do something about it. But they haven't heard a word. about none of this. How do I know all this? By no other than he's not here today. I'm alone. By no other than Sweet Kid Kino to me, Joaquin to you. Porque ustedes son unos lambones. Ustedes son un bonche de lambones. Un bonche de lambones. Ustedes son un bonche de lambones. Ustedes son un bonche de lambones. A guy talking about that he sold a strap, that he's buying a watch, that he's taking 4 trains to get the watch. Váyase para el carajo a comer mierda con eso. I'm taking the train to go here to pick up the watch of my dreams. No sean locas, cabras enfermas. No sean locas. No sean locas. Don't entertain no more these people. You've been entertaining them for too long. Until me and Sweet Kid Kino to me, Joaquin to you came along. And we stopped it all. Papi, they say that we have single-handedly disrupted, rattled the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market channel, an industry of watches that we have. But you know what? I'm going to go into a watch market update because this is what you guys should get. You know, you guys should get this and, you know, y más nada. Vamos a darle eso a esta gente y ya está. Porque this is too much. You know, my friend told me to keep it simple. And I try to keep it simple, but it's kind of hard because, you know, you don't want to, you know, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to keep it simple with these people because they've been mesmerized, you know. You remember Popeye and Pluto when Pluto, he got olive oil, he did that shoom, shoom, because, you know, olive oil was Popeye's chick, you know. But Pluto has some kind of power, salami, and olive oil was, you know, you got it all. That's how you guys are. Unbelievable. A bunch of olive oils. Listening to these people. Not one single word. Absolutely, Damon. Popeye squeeze. That's right. Unbelievable. You know, but Pluto, because let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. As a little kid, me watching in black and white TV, watching Popeye, Olive Oil, and Pluto, I still remember in my mind at 5 years old that something was wrong with Popeye with Olive Oil. Because every once in a while she would cheat on him with Pluto, with Brutus, whatever his name is, you know, whatever his name is, that strong guy, you know? She would always cheat, you know? And I always knew as a little kid, 5, 6, 7 years old, until I became like around 11, 12 years old, I gotta be honest. Thank you, Franco, thank you. When I became 12, you know, I would say, man, she's a, es una prostituta. I wanted to use another word, but it's too strong, guys. I wanted to use another word, but I can't. I don't use those words. But I was able to understand that even Olive Oil was, you know, she was no good because every time that, you know, Pluto would show her something, she would go bananas and, you know, and break up with Popeye, and Popeye se quedaba como un pendejo. You know, he would get this deep. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go into the watch market update. Don't forget what I'm telling you about the Rolex Land Dweller. All right? It's a hard watch to allocate. It's very hard. And if anybody sees one in the wild or in pictures, please don't be shy and send me a picture of that watch, because I would like to see a real picture, not you know, real picture of the watch. None of that 3D, you know, images they put out there. I'm gonna give you a watch market update, guys, on some of my organic watch channel subscribers that have asked me for these watches. So I'm gonna give you this watch market update. So if some of you are here, you're gonna listen to the prices that I have for you on the watches that you requested, that you are interested in buying, okay? This is for you guys. This is for all of you, but these are the ones that sent it to me. These are the watch models and reference number. The first watch is the Rolex stainless steel GMT Oyster. You know, Oyster bracelet. 40 millimeter. This is the new reference number. The new reference number. Right, guys? It's the 126710BLNR. It is the Batman. All right? The Batman. I'm not going to get into retail prices. I'm just going to tell you what you should pay for that watch. Okay? And you do whatever you want. Don't pay for that Rolex GMT with an Oyster bracelet, you know, 40 millimeter. Don't pay for that watch more than $13,400 and okay, you got it. You want it, you got it there. Here it goes. Our next watch. This is a watch that this watch at one moment was all the way up. All the way up. My voice went, guys. All the way up to $250,000. Unbelievable. The AP Royal Oak Yellow Gold Ombre Dial, Smoke Dial, whatever you want to call it, Chrono. You know, Chrono, 41 millimeter, reference number 26240BA. Unbelievable looking time machine, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. This watch at one moment was over $275,000. Sir, if you want to buy this watch, listen carefully what you should pay for this watch. No sea un lambón. No sea lambón. Reference number is the 26240BA. Has a retail price of $86,300. And ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want with your money. You do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more than $93,000. And bam, you did. I'm telling you, things are bad out there, ladies and gentlemen. Our next watch is a Richard Mille. Listen up, Richard Mille fans. Listen up. Richard Mille RM7201 Lifestyle. You know, in-house. Chrono. Unbelievable, this watch. Titanium. Ultralight. Ladies and gentlemen, this watch at one moment was over $450,000. 450,000 maracas. I'm telling you, watch Michael dead. This watch is a retail price of $189 plus your taxes. All right, guys? Don't pay for that watch, and I mean don't pay for that Richard Mille RM7201 Lifestyle. Don't pay for that watch more than $217,000 and dumping, 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 dumping. Dead. Richard Mille watches are dead in water. Get some jungle juice. Unbelievable. 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 And dropping. Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about this watch because, you know, I have subscribers which are, I call them the undercover subscribers. You know, they're like BlackRock. They don't want nobody to see them. And they're asking me for all these watches because they want to hear. They want to hear. You know it. Chinese green, jungle juice. They want to hear my prices. It's unbelievable. These multimillionaires, they come to my channel and send me emails. Please tell me the prices of these watches. Watch this watch, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. Patek Philippe Grand Complications. Not complications, grand complications. The best of the best of Patek. Patek Philippe. Split second chrono. Platinum. 5370. Unbelievable. Just the head, the casing. The rest is leather. And then it has like a little, you know, thing here, you know, the Patek, you know, logo here. This watch, the retail price of this watch is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. When I hear this, I go, wow. It's $297,530. $297,530. Sir, and you were telling me about, no, I don't know, I'm dealing with the price of, you know, I'm trying to get that to the mark of 200. Okay, I say, all right. You listen to my price. You listen to my price. Ladies and gentlemen, I just finished telling you the retail price, $297,530 plus your Uncle Sam's taxes. This is a monster watch. Monster watch. And sir, I'm gonna have to tell you the truth. You do whatever you want with your children's tuition money. You do whatever you want with your bonds, whatever you have. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch. And I mean, don't pay for that Patek. Grand Complications, split second chrono, platinum. Don't pay more than $164,000. And done! Done! If you want to give your money away, give it away to UNICEF. Give it to the animal shelters. You know? But stop giving it away to these Muppet boiler room cockroaches. You know? It's uno mono, bunch of monkeys, infections. You know? Unbelievable. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch, again, I'm telling you, it is the Patek Philippe Nautilus 5980. 5980, stainless steel, with a gray dial, not blue, not white, gray, you know, el color feo, you know, el color que nadie quiere. Nobody wants that color, you know. But they asked me what price. You know, exactly, you know what it is. You know, 40.5 millimeter casing, retail price $53,100. You know, stainless steel. Sir, you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. You want this watch full set with all the bells and whistles, you know? If it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, you run to the hills. You run to the hills. But don't pay for that watch. And I mean, don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more than $73,000 and do whatever you want. You did. You did. Do whatever you want. Guys, this is gonna go right there. Retail price $50,000. Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market channels, $52,000. In my time, dealers were happy making $1,000. Max $2,000 was a home run, you know, and if you did 5,000, you hit a grand slam. These people got used to you people. They were making $50,000, $100,000 in a watch. Papi, that's a shitload of money, man. You know, somebody making $50,000, $100,000, papi. That Corona era was terrible for people, man. People have ruined their life. I know what I'm telling you, man. Disgusting. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Patek Philippe. This is for the ladies. This is for the ladies. You know, these people have wives. These people have lovers, you know, side chicks. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's for their boyfriend. I don't know. But they call me for this, you know. The Patek Philippe Nautilus Rose Gold 7118. 35.2 millimeter casing. Retail price is $60,100. Beautiful watch. It's a very, very beautiful watch. And at one moment, it was all the way up there. It was all the way up there. I don't know, all the way 100, I don't know. You know, it was all the way up there. But I'm going to tell you, sir, don't pay for that watch, and you do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more than $74,000. And you do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Our next watch is a Rolex stainless steel, yellow dial, 41 millimeter. Reference number 124300, Oyster Perpetual. You know, collector's choice, collector's dream, collector's grade, collector's unit. You know that stuff. You know that you guys like. Unbelievable. 124300. Retail price is $6,600. Unbelievable. I gotta tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen. You know, some people have it out there for 20, 19, 18.5. I'm gonna tell you, you do whatever you want, but don't pay for that watch more than $14,600 and do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Our next watch, this is the heavy hitter watch here now. You gotta be a real Michiganer. You gotta be a real Michiganer. Listen and learn with this one. This is a Patek Philippe Nautilus, stainless steel, green dial, baguette bezel. You know, baguette bezel. You know, You know, a real factory, the real thing, a real bust down factory watch. You know, this is an unbelievable. It's discontinued. You know, discontinued watch. You know, they don't make it no more. You know, collector's unit, collector's dream, collector's choice, collector's grade. Unbelievable, this watch with a green diamond baguette diamond bezel, 5711, 40 millimeter. Retail price of this watch is $94,620. Listen and learn, ladies and gentlemen. You know it's beautiful. You know it's beautiful, Mr. Donut. You know it's a beautiful watch. And ladies and gentlemen, this watch went all the way. It's an embarrassment to say this. This is what I mean, that you people trusted these people with so much money that it's unbelievable. You know, unbelievable. You trusted these people, and from your own phone, you were there just send. You know, in my time, it took years, you know, to create trust. It took years, you know, years and years to create, you know, to give trust. Not like these people. They were in the car and the Ferrari just wire. You know, but in my time, I mean, it took years, man. You know, to give trust, it took years. You know, and in my time, it takes seconds to lose it too. You know, years to give it and seconds to lose it. And you guys just gave your money away like it was a joke. Unbelievable. And this watch went all the way up, man. Exactly, Papa. Exactly, Dr. Evil. This watch went to $780,000. $780,000. And they're having a hard time with this watch moving it. But I have to say the truth. I got to say the truth. I mean, he's still seeing it out there for $530,000. $530,000. But I'm going to tell you, Mr. Richman, don't pay for that watch more than $420,000. And dumping, he dead, dumping, don't do it, dumping, he dead, don't do it, it's going to keep on dropping now. And I was going, you know, all the way down, you know, how do you call that thing? Kamikaze, you know, all the way down. Unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you the last watch market update, you know, of the day. This is an AP Royal Oak white gold 41 millimeter ombre blue dial. You know, it was for boutique, mammoths, colossals, double whales, all that kind of stuff. Unbelievable. Special edition, you know, all that. And this watch was all the way up, man, to $250,000. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do yourself a favor. And don't pay for that used slider condition material watch. Don't pay more, and I mean don't pay more than $76,000 and dumping debt. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you learned something regarding the Rolex Land Dweller. You know, if you get that phone call, you know what to do. Call Uncle Charlie. If you ain't got the money, you call Uncle Billy Bob. You call him up. And let him know, hey man, I got this, you know, the Land Dweller stainless steel casing with a white gold bezel. You buy it, you're gonna make some money. I want you guys to make money. I don't want those flim flammers to make the money. I want you guys to make the money. Understand me? I'm just letting you know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. You do whatever you want. Right? So you learn something with that. Use it to your advantage. Put it away in your thinking, you know, cap. You know? So you know what to do. And also, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta watch the movie The Network. You gotta watch the movie The Network. Right, guys? You guys are really gonna appreciate me. Anyway, guys, we also have a private watch, group. It's on Facebook. It's under my name, Juan Felipe Nieves. Go under About, and there you're gonna find Opus and Time watches, and maybe Sweet Samantha and Sweet Kikino let you in the group. All right, guys? Again, I want to thank all of you for your support. I really do. I want to thank all of you for your support, for you, hanging out here with me. Our channel is growing and growing and growing, so we're happy about that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. No, all kidding aside. Again, thank you very much for all your support, for all your thank yous, super chats, and all that good stuff. All right, guys? It just keeps us going, you know? Hey, man, they want us to keep on going, so we're going to keep on going. Right, guys? So, guys, like me and Sweet Kikino will tell you always, take care and brush your hair. Take care, guys. Bye.